Okay, setting up the meeting now. We're going to start in a few. All right, let me see here. 1 second. All right, all right. We are live. Real Sports Fan Podcast, special edition on Father's Day. And I'm thankful and blessed to have my pops, my dad, my number one guy here with me live all the way from LA, all the way from Cali, baby, all the way from the West Coast. So we're thankful for this day. And I'm just going to go ahead and introduce my dad. Dad, just say a few words for everybody, and then we'll go ahead and start.
All right. Well, happy Father's Day to all the fathers out there, especially my oldest son, who has continued to just impress me with the man he is, ministry, his love for sports, his love for the ministry, his love for family and people. Just impresses me every day, and I want to thank God for him and say happy Father's Day to him, and also all the fathers out there. Hey, our children are important. They're the future, and let's keep putting our time and effort into them. And I also want to thank him for inviting me on here. A little young man from Trapp, Maryland. I don't know who wants to hear my story. I'll be glad to tell it.
Yeah.
I'm thankful to be here today.
Yeah.
Again, happy Father's Day to everybody.
And I appreciate it. And you definitely got a story to tell. And I want to say, I've said it already. You can never say enough. I want to say happy Father's Day to you. I love you. I appreciate you. Appreciate your sacrifice. Appreciate your love. All that. Just as time has went on, we both have said how much alike we are. How many similarities that we have, whether it's how we talk, whether it's a laugh, whether it's how we think, all that. So, I was told that as a kid, and then as I've gotten older, your mom used to always say, "You just like your dad." And then, as I got older, I've seen how much alike we really are. So I just want to say I appreciate you, and I'm thankful for not just a father-son relationship, but a friendship. The friendship. So I ain't gonna get you all choked up on Father's Day. We go.
I'm crying on here. Folks gonna talk about me. So.
I know we gonna keep it moving. We gonna keep it moving. But thanks again, everybody, for listening. Share this. You can put some comments in. We might get to the comments. We might not. It depends on how things go. I don't want to hold anybody up. I know it's Father's Day. I know y'all out there celebrating the men in your life. So we appreciate you. For those that don't know, COVID-19 obviously is still going on in the world. I know, the news doesn't talk about it as much now with the police brutality and the racism and everything that's going on in the world. But COVID-19 is still real. And my dad is one of the people, along with his wife, who did contract the COVID-19 virus, and they're fully healthy now and good. So, Dad, just touch on the COVID-19 experience from how you had it, your symptoms, and just how you got through that 14-day of quarantine.
Well, let me say, for those of you, it's real. COVID-19 is very real. I see a lot of folks walk around without masks on. I even had some folks at my job that said, hey, it's a government conspiracy. I don't believe it. You know? Hey, they just want to control us. They want us to wear masks. They trying to scare us. I done heard from 0 to 100. And, you know, so me, I'm an essential worker. So in my household, there's 3 people that live here, me, my wife, and my daughter. My wife, for those who don't know, is a school teacher, middle school teacher. My daughter's a senior at Cal State Northridge. So the schools were closed. They were in the house 24/7. You know, ever since it started, they weren't going anywhere. But me as an essential worker, I had to go out and work. My job, I work for a grocery store. My job needed me. They were shorthanded, and things got really busy, of course, with all of y'all buying toilet paper and paper towels and stuff. And so I had to go to work. And also I wanted to go to work to, you know, provide. I'm a provider to provide for my family, you know, by any means necessary. So I was out there working, and sure enough, I contracted it. And I just started getting sick. And I'm one of those guys that don't go to the hospital for anything. You know, like a lot of, I'm not going to say most because I don't want to stereotype, but like a lot of black, we don't go to the doctor. So I started getting sick. And on Friday, I got like on a Friday. And by Saturday morning, when I got home Friday, I told my wife I was sick, and I slept in the guest room. We have a guest room. I didn't even sleep with her. But by Saturday morning, she had it. That's how contagious it is. So it's really contagious just from walking past each other. And, you know, like I said, we weren't in the same room or just in the same house. And maybe her coming in bringing me some soup or something. She got it. And by the weekend, the whole family had it, you know. And so she went and got tested first, actually, because I was down and out. And she came back positive for COVID. And then my sister-in-law had came over to visit that same weekend, Tammy Lansing. I got a sister-in-law named Tammy. And she sit next to me on the couch, and she got it. So yeah, she tested positive. So it's real, folks. Don't let anybody, those who know me from Easton, I'm keeping it 100, and my friends, so it's real. And I was sick as a dog for about 3 days, three days consecutively. I had the dry cough. I didn't get the fever. None of us got the fever. I had the dry cough. I had headache, real bad headaches. So I thought I had the flu. I had real bad headaches, coughing up a little phlegm. And then the second day I woke up, my eyeballs hurt. All of us had like, I've never had my eyeballs hurt in sickness. Like turn your eyes left or right. It's like my eyeballs were going to come out. So they really hurt. And all I did was to call the doctor. They can't do nothing for you. I took NyQuil every 6 hours. And I slept for like 48 hours straight, basically. And I did have the fatigue too, because my wife had trouble waking me up. They say you get really fatigued. But the doctor said that we had it mildly. They consider that mild. So I guess since I didn't have any lung problems or breathing problems, I thank God for that. And I recovered. And then, you know, they say wait 10 days. My job sent me home, quarantining for 14 days. I couldn't leave the house for 14 days. My mother-in-law had to bring us groceries and stuff. We were all quarantined together for 14 days. Then I went back, got retested, and it tested negative. But I probably felt better after about 5 complete days of just misery. You know, 3 really bad, and then 2 kind of mild. And then I started feeling a lot better. So like the last 7 days of my quarantine, I was fine, but I felt fine anyway. But they don't know enough about it to know if you still can pass it on. You know, it's just so many things that they don't know about it. You know, and then when I called to get retested, they said I didn't have any more symptoms, so I couldn't get tested. It was hard for us to get tested when we wanted without the symptoms because they only want to test people with symptoms. But I needed all clear to go back to show my job to go back to work. So then we had to find, you know, a couple places that do essential workers, and we got tested again. So, but all I want to say is it's real. You know, anybody that know me, you can DM me if you got any questions. You can call me. When you get, and like I was in the grocery stores every day, so I was around people every day. I was trying to be as safe as possible, but you know, sometimes that just doesn't do it. And I felt more upset for my family than for me, you know, because when you give anybody anything, you know, you feel hurt. You hurt that they okay. So, but it's real. And then for you young folks that are like hanging out at the beach and doing this and that, if you got older grandparents and stuff, you could kill them. You know, you don't think about that. You can get it and you could be fine. But if you go visit your grandparents and they're old or if they got underlying conditions, you can kill them, man. That's serious business, you know? So just keep that in mind. I pray that y'all just think about that. Keep that in mind. If you're gonna go out, keep your mask on. You know, I know it's hard to breathe in them sometimes. The only good thing about having it already is that I talked to 3 different doctors and they all said it's like 99 point something% you won't get it again. So they basically saying
okay.
So that's good for us. So I feel a little comfortable going out, but I still wear my gloves, wear my mask, you know. So, but yeah, I talked to 3 different doctors, my wife's doctor, my doctor, and they all said that was the only thing they said that was the same. Because we talked to them in the beginning about the sickness, they all had something a little different to say about how many days and this. But they said once you get it, you should not get it again. So I thankful for that. So, but it's scary and it's real. You know, it's not made up. Trust me. So that's all I want to say to folks.
Well, I'm glad you said that. I'm glad you were able to share that, because I keep telling people that a lot of people aren't going to take it serious until someone close to them, you know what I mean, has got it. And I just thank God, like you said, that you guys are all fully recovered and that nothing worse happened. But like you said, you know, I can imagine the feeling of, like you said, you know, not for yourself, but like you said, giving it to somebody, not knowing you gave it to somebody. And like you said, you know, some people have underlying health issues, you know, just like you were saying, like, well, my grandparents, I'm going to there later. I'm going to be masked up. I'm not going to hug them and stuff like that, you know, because you just never know. You know, like you said, you can have it and not even have symptoms of it, you know. So please all pay attention to, you know, what Dad is saying. And like he said, if you got questions about it, you know, inbox him. You know, he can help somebody. This can help somebody by sharing this story. Like you said, from the eyeballs hurting me, like pressure on your eyeballs and stuff like that. Like it's real out here. But like you said, it's not a witch hunt. It's not fake, but it's real.
Definitely real. I attest to that. So yeah, I was don't a lot scare me, you know, being a Marine and thinking invincible, but I was nervous. I was really scared.
Yeah.
And more scared for my family.
I bet. So. Yeah, I bet. So again, I'm glad. Thank God you guys are good to go and fully healthy now. Staying with COVID for a second, before we move on, how do you think the NBA is going to do, or not even just the NBA, but the sports is getting ready to open? I know we don't know about baseball and football still. How do you think they're going to be able to deal with in basketball, the bubble, or in football, you know, just the virus itself? Do you think it's going to be able to work with everything that's going on?
I'm glad you brought that up. It's a great question, because I wanted to touch on that, because before I got COVID, and I just got COVID last month in May, I said, hey, you know, I'm a worker. I'm a provider. These guys should work. What the heck are they talking about? They're not going to go and play ball. That's what they do. That's how they get paid, right? I'm like, yeah. And after I got it, now I'm like, I'm 50-50. Like, I'm like, I understand why they don't want to go down there, and if they contract it, you know, and you don't, I mean, let's hope they're all healthy and that they can survive, but you never know. And like one of your boys, like, he played in the NBA for years, Chris Bosh, and nobody knew he was sick. Got that physical. You know, you know, some of these guys might have heart murmurs or whatever, and they don't know.
True.
So I'm 50-50. I hate to straddle the fence on y'all, but I'm 50. I can see both ways. I didn't agree when Kyrie came out, because I said he's hurt, he ain't gonna play anyway. And then
that's my point. Thank you.
And the rumors came out saying that when they told him, if you ain't playing, you can't even come, because he was initially gonna go and sit on the bench and stuff. So you was okay with that, but now they said you can't even be around the fellas while they playing. So I truly think his motive is twofold. I don't think this is genuine. Hey, I could be wrong. Y'all can hit me up, DM me, you know, but I could be wrong. But I don't think his is genuine, because I thought, from what I heard, he was going to go, and then once they said he couldn't go, then he said nobody should play. And I just think that's unfair to guys that are providing for their families, because all these guys ain't making $30 million a year.
That's right.
Everybody, the NBA players are rich, but I mean, they rich compared to the average person. But this guy's only making, what's the minimum, $1 million?
Yep.
Maybe
$1 million is 1.2. Yeah.
And they might can't afford to take 2 years off. You know what I'm saying?
Exactly.
Because And the thing you got to realize, I try to see it from both perspectives. A lot of people say, well, if you make $1 million a year, I can live 5 years off $1 million. Well, you can't, because you live your lifestyle according to how much you make. You know what I'm saying?
Exactly.
If they make $1,000 a year, their car payment, house, they spending probably close. You know what I mean? They spend a lot more than the average person making $80,000 a year or $9,000 a year. You know, so their lifestyle, they got to pay the gardener, they got to pay. They got. So it's not that easy, but I cut back. You know, but I'm 50-50, but I'm leaning more towards they should play, and I think it can work because they're gonna get tested constantly.
Yep.
They got the money. They got the money to get tested every day. You know, and everybody's gonna be in a bubble. As long as you're not going, you know, they're gonna have everything brought to them, food and everything. So I'm leaning towards they should play because, and I'm a little selfish because the Lakers gonna win it all this year. I mean,
yeah, that's right. Hey, that's right. Keep it real.
Hey, LeBron 17. What is 17 years now? Hey.
Yeah. Ain't got too much longer.
He got to play this year. I mean, you know. So I understand it's a health issue, but I think it can work if they stay in the bubble. So that's my.
I appreciate that. I appreciate that perspective, honestly, and I understand why you say 50-50, especially coming from someone who had it. And then that was always my point. You know, I had to talk this week with a couple of people, with Sam and with my cousin SB, and that's what I was on the other side of them, and I was agreeing with you that Kyrie's perspective was a little bit different. Like you said, people really, you know, read and educate us, so they'll understand that Kyrie's issue was he can't be in the bubble, that he had to stay home. He wasn't going to play anyway. So that's why he was like, well, if I ain't coming, I don't want nobody to come, you know? Right. And like you said, there is, you know, people are living according to the lifestyle, and there are some guys that just came in that they need their checks. You know what I mean? They need that money. And then we can still use that platform and use that money to help the community, to help the Black Lives Matter movement. So I appreciate you saying that we're on the same page there. And then, like you said, that just lets me know that they have to take the bubble. Talking about the NBA, they have to take the bubble seriously. You know, if they say stay in the bubble, don't go out, don't do this. You know, make sure you do that. You know, make sure you do that. You know, so you got to stay in there. So that's a great point there. I think we having some technical difficulties. Can you still hear me? That
I just can't see you, but I can hear you fine.
Okay. Yeah, they're trying to connect now. We're gonna go ahead and keep talking because I know they can still actually hear us, and then the video will pop up. Yeah, but that's a great point though. You know that you made. You know, in regards to that. So I want to now get to, obviously there's a lot going on in the world with the racism, the systematic racism, the police brutality. You live in LA. For people that don't know, you're right outside of Los Angeles, in West Hills. We call it the Valley, predominantly white area. I do understand that you guys have been doing some protests in the area. Just give me just your opinion on everything that's been going on in the world, and then specifically in your region. You know, what have you seen?
I've seen a lot of protests, and I, like a lot of people have already said, feel a lot different about the protests that are going on now. I feel that the George Floyd incident with the police officer with his knee on his neck was like a final straw for a lot of people, and not just African American people, because I see a lot of white, Latino. I mean, I can't believe the number of white people. I'm just gonna say, I'm gonna be honest, that are marching and protesting with us, you know, with the movement. So, and I think that's great. I think that's the only way for change, because if it was just us, they're gonna just say we're bitter or we see things differently. So, I'm excited about where the movement's going. I also think that the movement though has to translate into votes. You can't just show up at the march and want to be seen or want to be on TV. And I don't think that's what they're doing. I'm just saying, it's just there's a second level after that. You got to get the right people in office. We've got to dictate change. And marching is the start, we have to do that, but don't stop there. We have to dictate change. So I feel good about where we are. Me as a black father, I'm like, man, it's just, you know, a lot of people like you're saying, when they say Black Lives Matter, how a lot of other nationalities don't understand it. And a lot of people have already said this though, but like, we know all lives matter, but right now the Black lives are the ones that are being abused, I think, and killed. And just to give you an instance, my son just walked in. My youngest son is out here visiting me. He lives in Atlanta, and he's 25, so he's a young guy. He's going out doing his thing, and he's grown, so I let him do what he wants. But when he leaves, I was telling my wife this morning, first thing I do when I wake up is look out the window and make sure his car is here, because I'm worried about his safety, you know. And a lot of other nationalities don't understand that. They don't have to do that.
Yeah.
When your adult black son leaves the house, you know, you get a knot in your stomach. You worried about him, you know? And so the protests are definitely warranted and needed. And you know, but we gotta keep it going. And you know about my instance when I drove home for your grandmother's funeral.
Yeah, share that if you don't mind.
So I drove cross country, you know, from California to Maryland, and me and my wife drove to my mother's funeral, Lance's grandmother's funeral, and the funeral was in January. We drove cross country. We got stopped once going right. We got stopped once in Arkansas. Just say you was over the white line. He wasn't over the white line.
Crazy stuff.
You know, wanted to search the car and all, you know, whatever. So we was good, so it was no problem. So after the funeral, my wife had to be back to work. She was a school teacher. She couldn't take any more time off. And I drove back cross country by myself. And this is no exaggeration. I got stopped 4 times in one day, well, maybe 2 days, because I spent one in 4 different states. And they all were like, you over the white line, or you cut in front of the truck too soon. And I'm a truck driver. I ain't cutting in front of no truck too soon. But all just a black man driving through southern states. I think I went through Arkansas, Tennessee, Arkansas, Oklahoma, and one other state I got stopped in, and maybe Texas. But Texas. They stopped me. They just asked me some questions, wanted to look in my car, you know. But they all stopped me for no reason. I didn't get not one ticket. You know, I was a black man. They stopped me. And I think my saving grace, the only thing is that, like, a couple of guys in the military, and I'm ex-military. So I have a veteran all my life. So I have a veteran, you know, card and stuff. They see that, oh, you was in the military, and they seem to be a little less aggressive. But that's what we have to deal with, you know. They stop us for any little reason, and then, you know, and I can see how a young man, 25, 26, just gets tired of it. And maybe but like I tell my sons, right, I said, just get home, you know.
Yeah.
If you feel they wrong, if you're on side of the road in Texas, you can't cuss this man out or tell him that he's wrong, because if he shoots you, it's your word against his, you know.
Yeah.
And for years, they haven't been getting punished. You know, they haven't been getting, nothing's been happening to them for killing these young black men and black women now. So they've been getting away with it. So I tell them, just get home. Even if he's wrong, you don't say anything, you let him lock you up. And then later on, we do an appeal, a process, or we go and file a grievance and say they're wrong. But a lot of these young men, like, if you aggressive or if you try to run or you cussing,
that's what they want. Yeah.
Yeah, they do what they want. And it's funny how they got body cams now, but the body cams never seem to be on. You know, like,
exactly.
Like, all y'all got body cam, but the body cam seem to be on. So
right.
And like I'm by no means how you say this, non-police, you know, against the police or anything. I'm just against bad, because I got a lot of friends that are police officers. I know a lot of police officers. Good guy. I got a young man that, you know, older, not a young man, my age or older, that lives around the corner from me. I don't want to say his name, but he's a retired state policeman, California State Police. He comes over, eats at my house, invites his wife, my wife, are best friends. Great dude. When I got sick,
Mm-hmm.
he called me every day. Stay true. He
Wow.
called me every day, right? Knew I couldn't go to the gym, bought me some. He got a lot of weights, brought me some weights over. So I got a lot of friends that are in law enforcement. My Vegas crew. Everybody know me and Bobby Guy.
Yeah, Mike.
Ant Rounds, Mr. Rounds, y'all know
Yeah,
him.
that's around. Yeah.
One of the best dudes I ever met in my life. Great dude.
Yeah.
So I don't want anybody to think I hate the police, because I know a lot, and I know some more, but I know a lot of good police officers, so that ain't it.
Mm-hmm.
But it's that 10% that make everybody look bad. They make the whole force look bad. So that's why people say it's systematic, because it's not a person, it's a system.
Exactly. It's a system.
I let you get away with it, that's the system. If you shoot a man, I let you get away with it, that's the system. So so I don't want anybody to think I hate the police, because like I said, I got a lot of friends. I just want to make that clear that are in law enforcement or that are police officers. My wife goes skiing with the LAPD guy and his wife that she taught with. They're in LAPD. Great people, So I'm not against the police by any means, but these racist police or these 10% are bad police, that's the ones we need to crack down on. And like everybody says too, if you are a good cop and you see a bad cop doing something, you gotta speak up. And I know it's not easy, because the whole club gonna be against you. Whenever you speak up, everybody's gonna be against you. But you could, just like the young man did. Okay, we're gonna talk sports, like the baseball guy did that told him about the sign stealing.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
I mean, they were all mad at him.
They was mad at him. They mad at him because he told, even though they did wrong.
Like, he did the right thing, but the majority was mad at him because he said, "Hey, we stealing signs to win that."
Mm-hmm.
So it's not a popular choice, but if you care about people, I mean, we're talking lives here. It's got to be done.
Yeah. No, thanks for sharing that, because you're somebody who, you got a couple perspectives on that. You're somebody that has, like you said, been a part of being stopped for no reason. Obviously I remember that like it was yesterday, and you even went live one of them times. Maybe it was the time you were in Tennessee. I can't remember, but you even went live to make sure something happened. Look, y'all see what's going on. Like, we shouldn't have to do that as black men.
Hey, I was getting hurt. Yeah, I was like, dude, why they keep stopping? Every state they stopping me, right? Mm-hmm. And at the last stop, I had my cruise set at the speed limit of 70. I had my cruise set at 69. He stopped me and said, I think he was speeding. Like, I had my cruise set, So
it's crazy.
Before you move on, I'm sorry, and then one guy stopped. I got an LA Rams thing on my back tag. He said that the side of the tag, was blocking one of the letters, right?
Blocking one of the letters.
Read all y'all. I got home. I didn't look at it then. When I got home, I looked at it. It was probably this much space between the last letter and that. It was just bogus. It was just bullshit.
Yeah, it's bogus. Because he can pull the plate without the full number anyway. Come on, man.
But then people don't understand why y'all get so frustrated. Why y'all angry? So that's why you just get tired. You get tired. I had the side when I get stopped. I just calm down. Just let them do what they gonna. Because ain't nothing in here but dirty clothes coming from Maryland. I ain't got nothing in here. So,
I had an experience before you move on. I had an experience when Bella she couldn't have only been a couple months, because I was still off of work. And I remember being outside and walking her in a stroller, and a police officer came up and said, "Hey, I need to talk to you for a minute." I said, "Okay." I'm thinking he, need something, just talk, I wouldn't think nothing of it. And he said, "Yeah, it was a disturbance, or someone stole at the store around the corner. Was that you?" I said, "Of course it wasn't me. I'm walking my daughter. How would it be me?" "Yeah, with the baby." I said, then what made me mad was he said, "Oh, you sure it wasn't you?" I said, how is it going to be me? And I'm sitting here walking my 2-month or strolling my 2-month-year-old daughter. So how would it be me, sir? So you're right. I was getting mad, but I had to do the same thing. I had to just walk away, because all he needed was a reason. All they needed is a reason, So it's crazy out here.
It's happened to me.
It's crazy out here.
I lived in Long Beach for a short time before I got married, and I was coming out of my house one day, and there was about 6 police officers all hiding behind a car. I didn't see them till I walked out to the street, and they all jumped out with guns drawn on me and said I fit the description. Right, and then so
A
this
big black guy. That's all.
so but this is where they messed up at. Right? I gave them my license and everything. Of course, I was court. They had two of them had guns on me, so I gave them my license, and they was like, "You fit the description." So it was a lady cop there. So I said, once they got done, I said, "Do you mind telling me, what was the description?" And she was like, "Oh, 6 feet, 100 something." I'm 6'4", 270. I was like, he was like 6 feet, 180 pounds. I said, I was not. I said, lady, do you realize I'm 6'4", 270?
Right.
I was two.
Right.
So. But
yeah, it's crazy. Yeah.
You just got to put up with it. Be patient. And just yourself. Hey, I'm saying this to all people. When you get stopped, just keep yourself safe. You can't.
Yep.
You can't win that battle on side of the road. You can't win that battle.
You can't.
You can't win it. Even if you're right, you can't win it. When I was in the military, they tell us that, like, if somebody's seeing you tell you do something, you just do it. Because if you talk back, you're gonna get yourself in more trouble, right? Like if a sergeant tell a Lance Corporal do something, and Lance Corporal be like, I ain't no F you, right? So what he told him to do, whether right or wrong, doesn't matter now. Now you in trouble for cursing out a superior or not doing what you're supposed to do. You're gonna get rolled up for that. So just keep yourself safe. That's all, And just like I said, deal with it then. There's a right way to deal with it later. That would be my message.
That's a great point. And before we move, since we are on that, like you said, you are someone that was at the military, retired from the military. What you do? 20 years? How long you did?
I did 17. I'll tell you that story too. I got it early. Yeah, I did 17.
Oh, okay. And I said that to say that there's an issue with some people not understanding why Colin Kaepernick kneel for the flag, while other people kneel for the flag, while in the future more people are going to kneel for the flag. So as someone that's been in the military, and has also experienced and seen the racism and the police brutality, do you have an issue with anyone kneeling for the flag, being that you was in the military?
I don't, and no one that I've spoken to, my friends that are in the military, has a problem with it. And all or most of us know that it's not about the flag.
Thank you.
I think that that the current president that y'all have in there, he's trying to change the narrative and make it about what he wants to make it about. But it's not about the flag. And as someone that's been in a combat situation, Desert Shield and Desert Storm, and I went through Kuwait and saw the dead bodies on the side of the road and everything. I've been in combat. As someone that's fought for this country, he has a right to protest. So if he wants to kneel during the flag, you can't make him stand during the national. That's his right, So so I don't understand why they saying that it's disrespectful. It's his right. We all have a right. It's like you have a right to peaceful protest. And this country's current president, gassed those people so he could go take a photo shoot.
Yeah.
This makes no sense to me, but that's the world we live in. But I like that. Everybody, please vote. Please vote.
Please vote.
Passed a law that they're gonna do mail. I know a lot of places they trying to stop the mail-in votes or something, but that he's gonna do because of COVID-19. He's passing out. He's doing the mail-in voting. So
yeah.
Easier for people, So
no, that's good. That's true.
It's not disrespecting the flag, not at all. Not even close to being disrespectful. So I see any Dallas Cowboy fans out there. Jerry Jones said they're not gonna play if his players kneel. So we'll see how that goes.
I tell you, between Jerry Jones and Drew Brees, I know you got a Saints fan in there. Between Drew Brees saying what he said, I don't understand where they've been at and what world they living in right now, where they still think that we're going to accept that.
Drew, to his credit, he tried to backtrack it and apologize, but a lot of times when you say things, people know what's on your heart. They're gonna go with it. But I know why he did it. I hope his heart's in the right place, but he did it because he lost that locker room when he did that. That's
right. And as a quarterback, as a leader of a team, people are following you and taking your lead. So like he said, they're not going to forget that. You know, no matter how many times he apologized.
Tell you right now, they was not gonna play for him. He might have a chance now, but they
Mm-hmm.
was not gonna play for him.
Yep.
They were really upset. And then
Yep.
he's a lot of African American players on that team, you know. So.
Yep. Cool.
No,
So right now you're in the big state of California. But let me know. I know you love it. Warm year round around there. I know you ain't got to worry about no snow. But I said no, you good. I said that to say, let me know, how was it growing up as a young black boy in the small town of Trapp, Maryland? Real small town in between East and Cambridge. For people who don't know, did you experience any sort of racism or anything, you know, while you were growing up?
I can't recall. I really can't recall any specific incidences. And like, I mean, I had a lot of white. I still have a lot of white friends.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I don't like. We was talking about Steve Fallon, who went to Chesapeake with me. A friend of mine in who I played ball with. Used to go to his house. I can't name, but I mean, I went to. I always call Betsy Dye my sister. We're good friends. She's a white lady. I went to White Marsh for her elementary all the way through high school. You know, me, her, and Jackie Baum. I got and then I went to, and then my second college, I'm sure we'll get to, I went to Longwood College, which is predominantly white. So I have interacted with white people. And then I was an athlete too. Maybe they treated me a little differently, but I never really had any problems that I can definitely recall. You know, I mean, have I been called the N-word? Probably a couple of times, but usually in an argument or something, and it didn't. I didn't. Back then, I probably didn't register it like that. You know what I mean? But you know, I've had nothing but good experiences with the people in my life, with other races in my life. So I've been pretty fortunate in that regard.
That's good.
Yeah, I can't remember. So
that's good. That's good. That's a good thing. That's a good thing. How was it growing up as the youngest boy with all the older brothers, and obviously we know you got a baby sister. Shout out to Aunt Shantae. But how was it growing up with being the youngest boys, the fights and the bickering and all that good stuff?
Rough. I got my ass kicked constantly. Basis. As man, I mean, but it made me tough. Like when I played ball, I could take a beating. It did make me tough, but at the time I did. And I used to, because I always tell everybody I was my mother's favorite, but it probably wasn't. because she would save me. Like I would go tease them. You know, I would like run around, do something to them, and then if they couldn't catch me before I got to my mother, I know that I was safe. But if they caught me, I had to take that whipping. I had to take the L.
Yeah.
So it was rough, but I got something different, I think, from all my brothers. My oldest brother, Clarence. And then I had Juice, Kevin. Kevin was the hardest on me, but he wouldn't let nobody else touch me. Like Kevin would beat me up Monday morning, and Monday night, if somebody's bothering me Eastern, he'd come down there and want to fight. You know, he'd get them off.
Yeah.
It's weird the way that works. They can beat you up, but nobody else can beat you up.
Nobody else. That's right.
But and Martin, you know, like Martin was really never in the sport. I got a lot of my sports from Kevin and Tyrone. Tyrone played baseball. I love baseball. Juice played basketball and football, but I think he was better in football. Just my opinion. You know, somebody might disagree. But Martin was always in the cars, so I got a love for cars. I got something different from all of my brothers. You know, Martin, always been an auto mechanic, always working on cars. Usually had a hot ride somewhere, you know. So I got a love for cars, and but it was rough. It was rough because I like I said, I was the youngest. I got picked on a lot, and a lot of it I brought on myself. But you know, like I said, I always wanted to play basketball with the older kids, you know, and my brothers would always take me, so that helped my game. You know, I always wanted to hang out with the older kids, so you know. But you know, trap is trap. I always wanted to get to Eastern, but you know, thought Easton was a big city back then. I couldn't wait to get to Easton. So, you know, it's funny
Man, I
when you
bet. I bet.
when you grow up as a young man, you think 12 miles. It's like it feels like 3,000 miles. You know, it's like I remember days when I was just trying to get to Easton, and it's like I just, you know, and I have a car, and I mean, sometimes we ride our bike on the back road, ride the bike all the way to Easton, you know, and then somebody had to pick us up, take us back. Too tired to ride back, but you know, I just wanted to get to Easton, hang out with my friends, you know, James Parker, Tony Wilson, a lot of guys I grew up with, Bobby Guy, all the guys in Easton. We just want to meet in Easton and hang out, you know. So
yeah, that's real. That's real.
Funny now that you travel, join the military and travel around the world, that you see that it really ain't that far, you know. But it seemed like way far away back then. So
yeah,
but yeah, you know, I think I had a pretty good childhood, considering, you know, I mean, we didn't have a lot. You know, we had a lot of love. You know, we when I think about
most important thing.
Yeah, because a lot of people that I grew up with in Easton don't even know this, because I never really invited anyone down to my house, because when I grew up in that house, it's not the house that my sister has now. That's a new house, but the house I grew up in, and I always tell my kids that they blessed, because I didn't have running water in the house. See, a lot of people don't know. We didn't have running water. You know, we had the pot belly stove. We was old. We talking in the 70s and 80s now. You know, I was born in the 60s, talking 60s and 70s. So you know, we didn't have, you know, find all the fine things of life. We didn't have. We had to take I had an Uncle Raymond. He had a water pump in front of his house. We had to take a bucket over, fill it with water, and bring it over to do our bathing and stuff in. You know, so I'm blessed to be where I am today. You know, I feel like I came up. And I always, you know how older people always tell you the stories. I walked 12 miles to school in the snow. And Israel, when I tell them the stories about y'all got hot, y'all here taking 45-minute showers and stuff, and y'all got food every day. And you know, my to mine, you know, your youngest brother and Tier, they take 45-minute shower. I was washed up in a basin on the stove, you know. But anyway,
blessed, man. It's a big difference.
That's why I work so hard. That's why I think I have a good work ethic, though, because my mother, I never seen a person in life work as hard as her. You know, she worked 2 and 3 jobs sometimes, you know, and so she made sure we ate, though. We ate, kept food on the table, you know, and then if it wasn't enough food, she made sure all the kids ate. She ate last, you know. So you gotta respect a woman that does that for a kid, you know. But I came up rough, man. Hey, I could tell y'all some stories, but I'll stop there. I mean,
I know you got some. So yeah, but I know though, I like what you said though, that you took a little bit of everything, you know, from your brothers. You know, like you said, Uncle Martin with cars, you know, Tyrone and Kevin with sports, you know, Clarence with this. So it's good that, like you said, you were able to take something, you know, from all of them. So that's what's up. That's what's up. Talk to me a little bit about transitioning to sports. And again, appreciate everybody. Real Sports Fan Podcast on a Sunday special edition with my dad, Timmy Wilson. You might know him. Some of you might call him Tim. Some of you might call him Timothy. Some of you might call him Big Bird. But he's here, and this is an awesome thing. It's my first remote session that I've done. Actually, well, I've had 2 of them, but it's the first one I've actually orchestrated. So appreciate Dad taking the time out and getting on here with me. But Dad, talk to me a little bit about high school ball, man. If I'm not mistaken, your freshman and sophomore year, I don't think you played organized, unless I'm wrong. I think it was really 11th grade, 11th and 12th when you kind of took off. Before you answer that, talk to me about, you know, I looked up some things that I know you played for Mac Hayward.
Right.
And you guys, if I'm not mistaken, I it's crazy how many similarities we got. And I know we'll get into the season, but your senior year, if I'm not mistaken, y'all won the Bayside. And I see you play with guys like Kevin Flamer, like I said, don't get talked about enough. Glenn Pender, you know, the front court y'all had, you know, y'all dominant, you know, rebounds galore. You played with Mario Clark, who when I was in high school, I never forget when I walked in the door, he used to be the coach of Kent County. He said, "Oh, you Big Bird son, you Big Bird son." So Mario Clark, Hawkeye, who coached me, you know, AAU,
Right.
You played with Dexter, Bruce Freeman, RP Bruce. So just talk a little bit about, high school and your experience there playing ball.
Well, I started playing at the Y. I was a good athlete, good ball player. And I joined the YMCA because like after school, I would have to hang out, wait till my dad to get off. So I was like, hey, I can play ball and I could get a hot shower. I say,
Yeah. True. Yeah.
So I joined the Y a lot of times just to get over there, take that hot shower. But I got pretty good, at the Y, and then I was, I was good in the park. I was like a street player for a while. That's why I didn't play till 11th grade because I was good, but I was that player that I'm gonna give you for instance. I went to a Cambridge High School game when I was home, I think a couple of years ago.
Yeah,
I was watching this kid play. I don't even know his name, so I'm not gonna say his name, but me and some older cats, Stubbs, some of my buddies from Cambridge, Soup, we were sitting around, and I said, man, that dude can play. He is good. And they say he got 1 foot in the street and 1 foot on the court, though. If we can keep him on the court, we know he'll go somewhere. Well, I was in the streets. There's no ifs, ands, and buts. I was running the streets, and I was doing things that I shouldn't have. I mean, I was always a nice guy. I wasn't like stealing or anything. I just wanted to hang out.
Yeah, just want to hang out. Get out of trap.
I'm in the East End. I'm smoking. We legal now. I guess I can say I'm smoking weed.
Yeah.
Years old. My cousin, I'll say Sweet Tooth, man. Everybody loves Sweet Tooth. I'm in the alley shooting dice with Sweet Tooth. I'm in the alley playing craps, drinking wine. So I had to get my mind right. You know what I'm saying? And to Mac Hayward's credit, he would come. He looked out for me. He came and got me, and he told a story at Grandma's funeral. How I be star. I was always tall. I'm in the star probably 16. I know I shouldn't have been in there, but he would come check me and say, if you don't get right, you ain't gonna never play ball. So anyway, I had to start getting on my grades and getting right and playing ball. So a lot of those guys was ahead of me when I got there. You know what I mean? Like I think Cornell, he can correct me if he comes on or later, but I think he played varsity as a freshman. He was. They were a little more advanced than me in organized ball. I was an athlete, but they were more, a little more advanced than me. So when I got to the team, like you said, my junior year, and I'm glad you brought up Glenn Pender and Kevin Flamer, because I do think they don't get recognized enough as some of the greats in Easton. As a high school player, I think they were a little more advanced than me. Like especially Glenn, he's left-handed. He reminded me of a Lamar Odom type, right? He could stroke it, he could bring up the rebound, he could bring it up himself. Mac wasn't going for that too much, but back then you got to give it to guard Cornell or Ronald Blake. You got to give it to them here.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think they had me playing center. I think.
Yeah, they did.
It was like a 3-4
center and forward. Yeah,
it was like
3-4 front court.
Glenn and Kevin, and like I said, Glenn was a better shooter, and I wasn't shooting the ball out then because we had a young man named Dwayne Hawkeye Brooks. Y'all may have heard of him. So they didn't call him Hawkeye because he had one eye bigger because he didn't miss. So he was getting on that, rightfully so. I mean, not all, but if it's a play being designed, it's going to him. You know what I mean? And so I kind of, I was just an athlete. I could run, a lot of rebounds, but I developed my game more after high school. I think I got a lot better after high school. And because I missed 2 years, I didn't, like I said, I only played junior and senior year. But when I got to Chesapeake College, I got to Chesapeake College. They were in like a rebuilding mode. So it's the case of being in the right place, at the right time. It's kind of scenario. Because when I got there, the coach's name was James Coates. James Coates Senior. Yep. And one day after practice, he sit me down. He said, "You got a nice shot." And I said, "Thank you." He said, "I'm gonna need you to score more." He said, "I'm gonna need you to be a little selfish." Oh, I can do that.
What you say? I can shoot a little more? That's all right with me.
Is that what you want to do? He said, "Yeah, I'm gonna need you to score." Okay. And then at that time, I wasn't drinking anymore. I wasn't doing any of the crazy stuff. I was focused on school. I even I showed you I made the honor roll 1 year at Chesapeake. I was real proud that I started hitting my books. I was practicing more after, and at nights and stuff, working on my game. So that's when I really became a shooter, because like I said, in high school, I was playing the center spot, but once I got to college, he was moving me to like a 2 or 3, which helped me a lot. I'll get to when I got to the Marine Corps, because I could score inside or outside. Because I think I played center in high school. I can play with my back to the basket. I can score with my back to the basket, or I can pop out and shoot the jumper. So I think I was a little more. It was funny. They had a thing. It was the Marine Corps, my Marine Corps group. They had a thing about who was the best scorers in the Marine Corps during your time. And I got a lot of mentions. I was proud of that, and that's what a lot of guys said, because he could kill you inside or outside, So, but then once I got to college, I started working on my game a lot more practice, a lot more working out, And then I got recruited from Chesapeake to Longwood, of course. I went down there and did 2 years at Longwood. Played with Jerome Kersey, only guy from there that ever made it to the NBA. So it was a teammate of his. So yeah, but to answer your question, in high school, we had a squad. Like I said, we had a squad. I have people, when I talk to friends of mine, Glenn and Kevin, I don't know if they don't remember them, or if they maybe they didn't play after high school. I don't really know, but they could go. Everybody know Hawkeye, and everybody know Cornell, because he's still there. He's coaching.
Right.
He's coaching.
Yeah. Still helping out.
And Ron, Mario was a good athlete, but Easton's always had we've always had
good athletes. Yeah.
And one thing I like about me is that I'm a people person, because I could go anywhere and play. Like I could go to Cambridge by myself. Like I go over there and play in the park with them dudes. I never had any problem with them, because they know we just playing.
You always been like that.
I drive to Oxford, catch the ferry across on Sunday.
Yeah.
Go over there and play with them dudes in Bellevue. My brother Johnny, Jeff Milton, the Stanford boys. I never had no problem. Them dudes love me. I love them. So Calvin and Cornell, Rooker, all them boys from St. Michael. Yeah. Yeah, good times, man. It's a lot of good basketball. The only thing I regret about leaving Easton, I mean, I had to get out because I felt like I was kind of stuck. But you know what I mean? You get out, but then you realize how much home means to you.
Right.
About leaving Easton is I left in, I think, 86 is all the teams that I miss. Like I hear about Donio and all them teams. I didn't get to see those guys play, man. I would love to.
Yeah.
I remember the older guys, Alfred Brooks and Dino Cunningham and James Moan. The guys hit it, Rudy Russell, Michael Stanton. The guys ahead of me, but the guys after the 86, I would love to see. I hear y'all talk about the team sometime, man. I would love to have seen them guys play, man. Yeah. But,
that's a good point, and that's something I want to try to do more of. And you sit down with you, and then I hope to sit down with Donnie or Dwayne at 88 team, and sit down with Bonk next week. Shelton Hawkins. Like I said, so much talent from Easton. Alone. Like the teams were so deep. That, like you said, you had a lot of scores, but everybody couldn't score. You know what I mean? Because, someone had to sacrifice, so I understand, reading some of your articles, like I said, some of the similarities that we had even in high school, like, same thing with you. Like I said, I started off a shooter, but I had to play, the 4 and the 5 a lot. So I had to go down there and bang, so I didn't get to score as much as I would have liked every year, and then I seen that, you might not remember, but your senior year, James and Bennett took y'all out of the playoffs. I don't know if you remember. James and Bennett took me out of the playoffs my senior year.
Oh, wow.
So it's crazy. Yeah. So we both, our high school careers both stopped from James and Bennett. How crazy is that?
Anybody remember those set of twins with soup nuts or something? They had a set of twins.
Oh, yeah.
Anybody from my group remember them, please post it on there. But yeah, that's amazing, James and Bennett. Yeah, but like you said, everybody could score. And that's why I said when I was at Chesapeake, I had to be in the right place. So he's like, you can shoot, So I want you to shoot. I'm like, oh, you don't want me to I mean, you can rebound too, but I want you to shoot. So, but ever since then, I haven't stopped shooting. So you can ask my wife.
well, listen, I'm glad you mentioned I'm glad you mentioned Chesapeake. I'm glad you mentioned Chesapeake because I'm not going to say all the teams you played against and all that, but I'm gonna give the people, not you. You already know, I'm sure, but I'm gonna give the people some of your stats in college, and it's just amazing. You made a couple all tournament teams and all conference teams and all that too, but just some of the numbers: 25-17, 35-15, 29-12, 29-12. You play with a guy named Marcus Carr. It was one game y'all combined for 56 of like the 68 points.
Marcus Carr.
You had nothing.
Wow, good dude. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. You had a couple 40-point games. You had 40. You had 41 and 22. You had 26 and 12. Average 11.2 rebounds. I mean, the numbers are crazy. When it comes to Chesapeake. So. Tell me, I know you transitioned real good as far as telling people that you went from Chesapeake to Longwood College. I think it's now Longwood University, and played with the great Jerome Kersey, who got drafted by the Trailblazers and ended up winning the championship in 99 with the Spurs. The late Jerome Kersey, great Jerome Kersey. But you had a couple options that you could have went a few more places too. It was a couple of them. What made you decide to go to Longwood? Because you had a couple different offers.
I visited the campus, and the assistant coach was a brother. He was smooth, one of the smoothest talking brother I know. He just the campus it just felt at home. When you visit somewhere and you like it, it's small.
Mm-hmm.
It just felt, it just felt right. That's
Mm-hmm.
the only thing. I didn't look into the graduate, what kids should look into nowadays is like how many people they graduate on the team, and I wish I could tell you I did that. And the population and all that. It just felt at home to me when I went down there for a visit. So that's where I went. So, but that was basically it, So.
And that's a good. And my wife reminded me that this is how the biggest impact you made at Chesapeake, because I think for a while, maybe until recently, I'm not sure, but you had the scoring record, there for a while too. But there was a guy, I can't think of his name, our mortgage guy. When we first bought this house, our mortgage guy looked at me and said, "You got to be Tim Wilson, Big Bird's son." He was like, man, he was a man at Chesapeake. It's Bill something. I can't remember his last name. But I think Sullivan. I think it was Bill Sullivan, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, but that's the impact you had at Chesapeake. You know what I'm saying? And now a lot of people, like we got a couple guys like Deshaun Freeman from Kent County, one of the best players on the shore. He's going to Chesapeake. And sometimes it used to be that stigma where, I don't want to go nowhere local and this, that, and the third. But, man, Chesapeake has really built their program up even from when you went there. LT, Todd Newman went there. Boo Ricks went there for a little bit, Felix Weeks. A lot of guys from North Carolina. So it's a good place to go and also build to get to, that next step. So
speaking of North Carolina, shout out to Rayfield Wallace, my point guard from North Carolina at Chesapeake. He was a bad boy too. We had a lot of talent at Chesapeake.
I've seen it.
Last year,
I had some stats with Lenny too when in high school. So you played with him at Easton too. And let me know at Chesapeake before we move on. There was an academic problem with some of the players. They from the first half of the season to the second half of the season. So y'all lost a lot of your top players. Am I not mistaken?
Right. We did. And I don't remember this over 30 years, so forgive me. I don't remember the exact.
Yeah. You good.
I do.
Bill McGuire, Dad. That's what the name. Bill McGuire, not Sullivan. Bill McGuire. Yeah.
I do remember, that happening, and then a lot of us other players had to step up. Basically just had to step up, and But like I said, I think Chesapeake groomed me. I would have. They say, like my wife says all the time, everything happens for a reason, right? Like when I was in high school, if I had went to a bigger school, I may have got lost in the shuffle. We don't know that, but I'm just saying, if I went to the University of Maryland somewhere where all the players are good, and I'm used to playing forward, not really being a shooter. So I went to Chesapeake. It's like, I need you to be a shooter, so I grew my game and I think it worked for me. You know, it helped me. So
Yeah,
and,
yeah, that's true. Everything
yeah,
happened for a reason. Yep.
yeah. Like I said, I think my highest game was 44, and that stood for a while. And
Hmm.
that's like I said, somebody broke it, but I was putting up numbers, man. I was putting
You
up
was,
numbers.
man. It wasn't just scoring, like I said, the rebound and the double. I mean, 40-20 games. Like
And,
that's 40-20 games. Like that's crazy.
you ever sit down and talk to me, Bobby Guy, or like Johnny, you know, about like Johnny Palmer from St. Louis? We'll tell you,
Yeah, Johnny on here, I'm sure. What's up, John?
we had a love for the game. We went hard every time we stepped on the court. We went hard, and that's what I was doing. So I was going hard. I wasn't just scoring and then backpedaling this profile. I was scoring
All right.
back. I'm rebounding. Well, we went hard every game. But
man, that's dope.
I think basketball saved my life, man. I don't know if I said that. Because like I said, I had 1 foot in the street and 1 foot on the court, So once I started playing ball, they told me if you don't get your grades, you can't play. You get in any fights, you can't play. Because in middle school, little cat fight, nothing major, but I want to fight everybody. You want to be a badass, you want to hang with the wrong crowd. So I think basketball literally saved my life. So
I would agree with you.
So yeah, I was on.
I would agree. I would agree with you.
So hey, can I backtrack? You mind if I backtrack 1 minute?
No, go ahead. Go ahead. It's you.
Speaking of being in the streets, it's kind of relevant. We were talking about good police officers. So I want to say, when I played Little League baseball, I was hanging with the older gentleman, hanging the streets against him. And we went to Doc's Quick Shop. You know where Doc's is before you get to the hospital?
Oh, yeah. I remember Doc. Oh, yeah. At least you love Doc.
He was older than me, so I'm supposed to be the lookout. So we in there, he's stealing. I think they had a meat department. I want to make sure I get this right, man. But we trying to get some pork chops and some lunch meat. We're gonna do a little grilling, right? So I guess I didn't do a good job looking out, because when we walk out the door, the police show up, right? They pull up on us, right? So they take everything I put on the car. They got us in handcuffs. And my point, I'm going back to, there's good police officers in the world. They're all not bad. You have to watch them, but they're all not bad. So there was a policeman on the force named, I called him Smitty, the older white man named Smitty. Some of y'all may remember, but I played on his Little League baseball team. So when he showed up, he was like, nah, take the cuffs off of him. He said, just let me. Oh, wow. And he was like, take the cuffs off him. Just let me have him. Like, let me talk to him.
Wow, that's dope. Yeah.
Oh, kept me out. Hey, we all have had some blessings, And just kept me out the system, man. So I'm thankful for. So like I'm saying, they're not all bad. But I wanted to tell
that's good.
That he talked to me, said, you're a good athlete. What are you doing? Basically, let's get out. If I see you again, though. You don't got your one break though. See, a lot of us we get those breaks.
We take another one.
Right, we got to take those breaks, and we got to make the most of them. You never have to worry about me stealing nothing else. If I ain't had if I couldn't borrow no money, I wouldn't steal nothing else. So, but I just wanted to share. And then one of my best friends in Easton, also Leatherbury, his father was a cop. Yeah. Leatherbury used to run the streets together. His dad was a great man. So like I said, I know a lot of. I don't mean to backtrack. I know a lot of good police.
Oh no! I'm glad you did, because I think people need to hear that like we've been saying. I'm not saying all cops are bad, and that was an example of a white cop, that helped you out, if I'm not mistaken. And all people are not, we're not all criminals. Even if we make one mistake, we look out man or we stole. It doesn't mean we're a criminal. And like you said that, and I can say, for sure that basketball gave you the discipline that you needed to stay out of the streets, and also it prepared you, if I'm not mistaken, for the military. Okay. So talk to me as we transition to, after you get done, at Longwood, what made you go to the military? Because I know me personally, it's never been a desire, but some people, I know they do it because they need to, shout out D Ricketts. I mean, that's our people, Mr. Athena's son, cousin Athena's son. I know he's watching. What's up, D? He's in the Navy in Jacksonville now. Albert Finch, who I'm gonna have on the show in a couple of weeks, he's in the military. So some people do it because they do need to get out, get away. What was your reason for going to the Marines?
Thank you for your service too, Mr. Ricks. Once I got out the Marines, let me say this: I said that they should pass a law that every young man out of high school, and I know this ain't possible, to do at least 2 years in the military just to get that discipline.
Woo!
A lot of y'all need that discipline. A lot of y'all need the discipline. So it was good for me. But anyway, when I left Longwood, I had been on my own for a couple of years, living down in Longwood, and had my own room, a second year there. So when I got home, if those of you who know my mother, who I love dearly, I can't say I'm bad about her. My sister won't speak to me forever now, but when I got home from college, I think I was home 2 weeks, and my mother drove me to drink. Like basically, like, where you going? Like, what time you coming home? Like, I'm still her baby. Even when I come home at 40, she'd be like, where you going?
You ain't going nowhere. Yeah, I'm going with y'all.
No, right? But those you don't know, my mother, she loved me dearly. I love her dearly. But she be like, she want to know where you going, what time you getting home, why you out so late. So I was like, you know what? I gotta do something. So this recruiter in Easton stopped me one day. He said, "You play ball?" I was like, "Yeah, I play ball." And he's like, "We got a Marine Corps basketball team." That's how I started. And I said, "Oh, cool, right?" He said, "Yeah, they're pretty good too." I never even considered playing basketball in the Marine Corps. And so I stood down, talked to him and stuff. So I told him, I said, he was from the area. I don't remember his name, young white guy. I said, "Look," because at that time I thought all recruiters lie. I know a lot of them do, right? So I said, "Look, I got 4." This is what I told him. I said, "I got 4 older brothers." I said, "If you lying to me, I'm gonna call them, and I'm gonna have them all come up here and see you, right?" And he's like, "They got a basketball team." Then he showed me some clips. They had some boxers at the time that went Olympics and stuff like that. So, but I had no idea. So, and then he told me about money for this, money for that. So I'm like, okay. I tried to get a job, couldn't get anything lined up. So that's and then I had 2 older brothers. For those you don't know, my brother Tyrone was in the Marines, and my brother Martin was in the Marines. So I had they both were actually Marines, and the uniform and everything, this one they had, I was like, don't sound too bad, And so that's it. I joined the Marine Corps, and my first year I made what's called the All Marine team. And it's a basketball team with like the 12 best players in the whole cert. They bring them from Japan. They may bring like 4 or 5 players from Japan. Camp Pendleton in California, all the East Coast bases. They bring them all in one camp, and you try out for this team. And they try to take the 12 best players. And so I made it my first year, and which I think was 86. And I had like a 7-year run. I made like 7 years in a row, And I was fortunate, being in the right place at the right time. My job in the Marine Corps was like a radio operator, which they had more than enough of, so I could go. Like a lot of times, good players, like if you was what's called a grunt, your unit, even if you were a great basketball player, a lot of those guys, they couldn't, they weren't allowed to go. So I was just right place, right time, got to go every year, and it was like, that was my job for like 6 months out the year. It was like,
that's dope.
You wearing your sweatsuit every day, and just TAD, and you traveling. It was a lot better than I thought it was going to be. So I had a good time.
Yeah.
And then 2 of those years,
sounds like it.
2 of those years I made what's called the inter service team. I think I made it actually 3 years, but now the inter service team, for those who don't know, I should explain in the short version, is the Navy, Air Force, Marines, and the Army. They have a tournament every year. So if you make the all Marine team, all Navy team, all Army team, y'all meet in one place. The 4 teams play against each other. Then they try to take an all tournament team from that. They try to take 4 players from each team. Sometimes it's 5 here, 3 there, whatever. And then you travel around. I went to Italy, to Germany. You just spending all y'all tax dollars, but you get to travel. Get to travel around and represent the USA, And so I was fortunate that 2 of the years I played was the years that David Robinson, NBA Hall of Famer, most people know, was doing his 2 years of mandatory service after he got drafted by the Spurs. So I was fortunate enough to play with him, And we had some bad kids. I had a white kid from the Army named Kevin Houston. Y'all, Steph Curry range. I'll just say that. I seen him
Wow.
Steph Curry range before Steph Curry. I mean, we had a Reggae, Greyhound. We had a lot of guys. I can't name them all, but good team. But so I got to play with him. But at the time, we were all fussing. We didn't like it because he was like a rock star. He was already well known. So after the game,
Yeah.
he had to sit on the bus, and he is half hour with him sitting there signing autographs and stuff, you know. So we were hating a bit. Half hour to an hour, got there signing autographs. So anyway, but yeah. But I was fortunate to get to play with him. Good times. And like I said,
How was he as a teammate though? Was he cool? Talk to?
Great kid at that time. Great kid. Didn't drink. Didn't smoke. All I remember doing eating candy. Just nice, big young man. Yeah. Nice
7-footer, man. He's a big dude, man.
Yeah.
Like 7'1", actually. Yeah.
Hit his head a couple times walking into places. He's a big dude.
Yeah, I bet.
So like,
good.
Hey, basketball has been very good to me, as they say, right?
Yeah, that's right. And I'm glad you said that. Because, and I didn't even know, as a kid, I didn't even know about, all military teams, and, you were still playing ball. I just thought you went to the service, and, I didn't know, as a kid. But now as I got older and seen anything, I understand why it wasn't that bad. You know what I'm saying? It wasn't that bad. I mean, I know you went to places. I remember getting a video from you, and probably, you had to correct me, but 91, 92, when you was in Saudi Arabia. I remember you had to go to Saudi Arabia, and I know, like you said, you went to different places, and, it was some scary time. You've seen some things, but being able to play ball, like you said, was a dream of yours. So,
yeah. I actually went more overseas places playing ball than I did, as a Marine, because I only did one tour in Okinawa, Japan as a Marine. The rest of my tours were in state. And it's funny because as a Marine, if there's any Marines on here, they'll tell you got every 4 years you're supposed to do a tour. Every sign up, you're supposed to do a tour overseas. When it come time for me to go overseas, some kind of way they work it where I didn't have to go. So I did like 6 or 7 years straight at 29 pounds. And you never had to do, I think I did 6. You never had to do station that long, but I was playing ball. They loved me. And so, I got the hookup, as they said, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So,
that's dope. That's dope.
I had some good times. And then when I was in, I did a year in Okinawa, Japan. I'll tell this story. Also, I was playing for the base team. You have intramurals. It's like college. And you have base. It's a little more, and then all Marine is the next level. You have certain levels. But I was playing on the base team over there, and then I got asked there's a Navy corpsman, a big dude, about 6'7". He was playing on a Japanese pro team, I think it was a B League team. And he approached me, and like I said, we had talked, played against him in the games, but I didn't really know him that well. But he said, "Hey, they looking for another player. Would you be interested?" And so I went to the tryout. You can only have 2 Americans, and so
okay.
Picked me up. And so while I was older, I got to make a little extra money, playing in Japanese league over there. Yeah, so I was playing.
That's crazy.
In Japanese, yeah. So like I said, basketball has been nothing but great to me. I can't nothing bad to say about basketball. So they can take it.
Yeah, that's great. That's a great story, because if you think about it, that's might be a lot of young kids or kids in high school looking and think that they gotta, average 30 or 35 and do this and that. But like you said, you were, a very good, role player in high school. Had all the tools, and you just needed that coach to let you know, hey, I need you to score more. That led to, having that chest beat. That led to going to Longwood, playing with Jerome Kersey. That led to the military. And like I said, you basically a paid professional, going overseas, doing stuff that people would love to do. So it's a win-win all the way around,
I was talking to my family last night, and I told them, I said, I was getting ready for the podcast, and I said, I probably was a 5th or 6th, and they were, what? Because they only know me like the scorer, right? I was like, my high school team, I was just getting started. It was a whole lot of guys at that time on that team. I got given the prop. Like I said, Glenn Pender, I think, was better. Of course, Cornell was the man back then. Ronald Blake, I think, graduated a year before me. I think I played 1 year with Ronald. Ronald could go. And or did he graduate 81? But and then like
I
I
think it
said,
was the year before you.
yeah, and then like I said, Hawkeye, man, Hawkeye. Like I don't remember Hawkeye being that quick, but he could shoot that thing. Once he said,
yeah,
no,
yeah.
that boy, hey, he
And
got
it's
that.
crazy. It's crazy too. It's crazy too because like I said, Hawk coached me.
Right.
Cornell's coached me. I played with DJ, his son, DJ Bros. He was on the podcast, episode 2, season 3. Check it out on YouTube. I played with Cornell Jenkins Jr. Little Cornell. So I mean, so many similarities and so many things. It's awesome. It's awesome when you think about it. Talk to me about. I know you didn't get to participate in it last month or in May. You made the Hall of Fame team for the military. I know I'm probably not saying it accurately, but talk about that.
Yeah, I got selected and I guess approved, to be in the military Hall of Fame.
Yeah, inducted. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
They have a like I said, military Hall of Fame, and they look at your resume and what you've done, and it was a great honor. I was supposed to go to Colorado Springs right when the pandemic started, so I didn't get to go to accept the award. I think they're going to delay it and still try to have it, but
I hope so. Yeah.
Like I said, that's what they look at, just your resume, man. I made the All-Marine team like 6-7 years in a row, and then I went off to combat. I actually did do combat. I went to Desert Shield and Desert Storm. Like I said, I don't like to think about that too much, but I got some good buddies. I was over there with Dwayne Basher and Stan Duncan. They both live in Houston. We stay in constant. Like you never forget that experience, And then once I came back, I made the All-Marine team again, like 3 more years in a row. So I had like 10 years on the All-Marine team and 3 years on in the service team. And so they just look at your resume and said I was to be in the Hall of Fame. So I was honored. It's called the Military Hall of Fame. So Military Basketball Hall of Fame. So hopefully,
congratulations to that. Yeah, hopefully you'll be able to be there. We'll be there for sure.
Yeah. I invite everybody. Y'all always coming too. I was shocked. Ain't nobody turned me down.
Yeah, no, we coming. So hopefully, you still get to have the ceremony and do that. But yeah, congrats for sure to that. That's a huge honor. A lot of people, and you let me know because I might be wrong. Were you stationed in California the majority of the time you were in the service? Is that why you decided to stay in California because you loved it so much? Or just tell people why you decided to move to California. I know you had some time obviously in Georgia too.
I never really been stationed anywhere else. I went to boot camp in South Carolina, of course, and then my school. What you do is when you get out of boot camp, you go to a school to learn your trade, whatever trade you're in. Like I said, I was a field ready operator. So that was in 29 Palms, California, which is, those you don't know, is out near Palm Springs. Okay. So my school was about, I think 6 months long. And so everybody was all excited about getting orders, where you going after school. And, and I'm trying to get back to the East Coast. I'm gonna be honest, I was trying to, I'm like, what, Camp Lejeune, North Carolina? Okay, that's close as I can get. That's where I was.
Oh, okay.
Right. And so when I got my orders said, pack your bags and go about 750 yards to the dorm. That's your unit right there. So
oh, wow.
When I got my orders, they were for the same base that I was on, which is 29 pounds.
Okay.
Got out of school and all, they called it the sea bag drag. I packed my sea bag and down the street, and that's where I was for 6 years. So yeah, so wow. I've California. Other than like I said, 1 year I went to Okinawa, Japan, and then I came right back to California. So and then I got out at Camp Pendleton, which is out near San Diego, California. So and that's where I met my lovely wife. She's
oh yeah.
It was funny though how things work, because when I met her in my last year, I only had like 8 months left, I think. So they just TAD'd me to the basketball team. Like I was just like assigned to the play department. So she was like, "You in the Marines, but you in LA like every other day." Like, I was Like,
You was living, man. You was living.
all I had to do was be back for practice. She was like, "You sure you ready?" I was like,
I thought you were lying, didn't you?
yeah. Uniform on one day to go up there and let her know. So yeah, but it's funny how things work.
Oh man,
But
yeah,
yeah,
man.
Pelham is where I got out of that. So yeah, I was in California in the 90s. Other than the 1 year in Okinawa, I was in California. I never been stationed at Camp Lejeune. Never been stationed at Cherry Point. And I've been to Camp Lejeune for basketball, basketball tournaments and stuff. And they had the all camp there 1 year. And a very good friend of mine named Ronnie Gibson was along with us also. RIP, my friend. He was, to me, he was like, people gonna argue, they can DM me later. He was like the greatest player on the East Coast that I knew. He's a bad boy. I mean, there's a lot of them, but he was a bad boy. So he was stationed at Cherry Point. I've been to Cherry Point to play, but I've never been stationed anywhere on the East Coast. So, but I met a lot of great players. Like you saying about high school, all the great players. The Marine Corps, man. It's just like Barry Celestine, Smooth, and Ryan Tuck, and Daryl Dyer. I mean, I met a lot of great. I know I'm gonna leave some out. But Big O we had a dude on our team named Big O. This dude was about, looked like he was 6'10", but he probably was about 6'7", I think. But he's still a big dude, right?
Big.
So I'm gonna just tell a story real quick. So we went to play a college 1 year, right? So I always let him walk in first, scare the hell out of the whole team, right?
Yeah.
Hey, like we Marines anyway, right? And then he walked in, and then the coach is like, "Damn, we were scared." We said, "Who these grown ass men coming?" I guess these grown men coming.
Big boy, you good?
Yeah. I've been blessed to play with a lot of good, from Eastern High School to Chesapeake to. I've been blessed to play with a lot of good players, man. Like I said, basketball's been my life, man. I can't.
Yeah, that's all.
But I'm a truck driver now, so I know this time is going long. Let me just tell you how I got into truck driving, what I do now.
Yeah, please do.
Love what I do. We was talking about how each one of my brothers I got something from. So I had an uncle lived in Cambridge. His name was Joe Wilson, and he was a truck driver. And so every summer since I was little, he would stop by the house, right, and take me in his truck with him. And that's how I got love for truck driving.
Okay.
Like, he would drive me up to Baltimore with him in DC, and then whenever
I never knew that.
You could get whatever you want. You buy your ice cream and cake, and you see in the car. And so I had me and my uncle is where I got my love from. I always wanted to be a truck driver before I went to college, but since I was playing ball, and they said, "Come play ball," you don't pass that up, But
right.
I always wanted to be a truck driver. And then he had a friend that, like, if he wouldn't take me, his friend would take me. He had a buddy of his. We called him uncle. He wasn't an uncle, but so yeah, those two, man. Every summer I was in the truck, man. I was rolling. So
that's what's up.
So I love my job, and so I do what I like. So that's a good thing. So, but
that's good. That's good.
Good money, degree or no degree, you can get in the truck driving. Good money. So.
Yep. A lot of people I know are going that route too. A lot more people are going that truck driving route, and some, like you said, some is long distance, some is short distance or in town or however you call it. But more people are doing that. And
it cost out here. I don't know about the East Coast. It costs about $4,500 to get a license, but the military paid for mine. I didn't even pay anything for my license. So they had a program they paid for, so that's good too. So and I know time's running short, so since I'm the dad, I'm gonna take over and just let you know that I'm very proud of you. I always know you wanted to get into sports. I remember one time I had a friend that knew somebody for the Wizards. You remember all that whole thing?
Yeah. Yep.
So I know your love and your passion since college or even before college is to get into sports podcast, sports talking, sports announcements. So hey, you made your dream come true, So I just want you to know how proud I am of you, and I don't hear nothing but good things about it. I see guys online, your buddies talking about it and everything, and I think you're doing a good job. And I know you're gonna continue to go up. So I just want to tell you that I love you. I'm proud of you before you close out. I know it's getting late. So
that means a lot. It means a lot.
The first one you did, I was shocked. I said, he's gonna do it. He's been talking about doing it. I said, he's gonna do it.
Yeah. It's crazy too. I appreciate that because this is year 3, and the momentum is picking up. And there's been a few times where, I said I was gonna stop doing, or sometimes you had those little lapses, but encouragement like from you and different people. I get inboxes all the time and people messing me about it, you know, because what I try to do is my love of sports, but also, you know, with life and just giving people their flowers like you still smell them, you know, like yourself, and different ones I've had on this show have been more, you know, of an interview process. So it's been good. It's been good. But look, we do have a question though. Miss Deanna Palmer wants to ask the East and Cambridge rivalry. Can we talk a little bit about the East and Cambridge rivalry and how impactful that rivalry is to the Eastern Shore? You know, you want to talk about? Do you remember anything about your East and Cambridge? I did look at a couple of your clips for that.
When I was there, that was the biggest game. You know, no disrespect to North Carolina Racing or St. Michael's. Nah, they were. Nah. We were putting it on them every time. They had a heart, but they wouldn't get it together. But Cambridge was our biggest rival, and that was the games that were most packed. And just like I think that was a Cambridge game I came to when I came to see you play when I couldn't get in the game.
That was. Yeah. You see how packed that was. That was 2003. So yeah, no, 2002. So yeah.
Basically the same thing. It was a good rivalry, and I thought we were gonna throw some hands a couple of times, but thankfully nobody did.
Yeah.
But it was you know, I think it made them better, it made us better, you know. But I played in there. I played after suit and all them. I played in during our classes ahead of. I played with Chucky Tripp. I don't know if you know Chucky Tripp. He was played in Cambridge. But they had a squad.
You got to be related to Shavard Tripp. I'll tell you with Shavard Tripp. We graduated the same year. You got to be related to him. It's like too many trips in Cambridge. So yeah.
You know, he grew up with me in trap, but he ended up. I went to Easton. He went to Cambridge. So, but I mean, I just remember it being an intense rivalry. I don't know how to answer the question. It was,
no. I think you answered it. Yeah, I think you answered it right there. That it's the best rivalry, you know, around here. I mean, like you said, I mean, we have great battles with, like you said, Colonel and you know, North Dorchester, North Carolina, but East and Cambridge. That's what people want to see. You know what I mean? So you know, those are definitely some great games, packed games. So yeah.
Any other questions? Yeah. Questions on
the only other thing I want to ask you before we get out of here, you touched on it a little bit, but please tell me why the Los Angeles Lakers will win the championship, assuming that the NBA season does resume. Why are the Lakers going to win the championship this year?
I think that first of all, I think LeBron's on a mission. I think LeBron's on a mission. AD is on a mission. You know, AD was stuck in New Orleans forever. New Orleans, right? Yeah. So,
yeah.
He's hungry for a championship. I think they work well together. I think Milwaukee has a good enough team, but I don't think Giannis is ready to take the big step yet. So,
that's how I feel. Mm-hmm.
Hey, Giannis has got to get a jump shot. Y'all can say what y'all want. Y'all ain't gonna let nobody.
Thank you.
I'm not, because you know the era I grew up in, we put you on your behind. You know, like. But I'm just saying, even now they're gonna close that off. So he's their go-to guy. He's got to be more. He's got to get more weapons in his offensive arsenal. So
gotcha.
And then I don't really, you know, the Clippers may surprise me because, you know, my boy be playing hurt all year, but then he played like Superman in the
Kawhi.
Why he can't play but once a week during the regular season, but you know, once that championship turn on, Kawhi can do some things. So Clippers worry me actually more than Milwaukee, but I don't think nobody can stop us. I think we got a well-rounded team. We got that boy Green shooting that three now. You know?
Danny Green. Yeah.
We needed a 3-point shooter. You know, we got.
Mm-hmm.
I think we got everything we need. Got good. Well, LeBron running the point. I'm gonna say we had a point, but LeBron running the point.
Yeah.
So I don't see nobody. The only thing worries me is the bench. You know, I think if Kuz can find his groove, man, he hasn't found it this year. If I disagree with that, but Kuz has got to find his groove, man. And again, like you said, everybody can't play with everybody. Maybe he just, I don't know why he can't play with LeBron, because LeBron passes the ball. You know, so if LeBron ain't like, okay, he played with Kobe. I could see Kobe, and Kobe, my guy. Don't get me wrong, but hey, Kobe gonna shoot. Kobe ain't gonna look. LeBron. Kobe gonna, he scored 60 the last game of his career, so you know he gonna shoot.
Right.
But so see, you may be having a hard time playing with him, you know. But I don't see how you can't play with LeBron. So But Kuz has got to find. We need him. I think we need him. We need some bench. You know,
and I think with Kuz, it might be more, not necessarily maybe can't play with LeBron, but maybe AD. You know, because he used to play in that 4, and you know, AD at that 4, AD wants to play more the 4, not the 5. You know, but I think it's more just him picking his spots, and then also, you know, when you're used to getting, say, you know, 16 shots a game, and now you're getting 8, you know, cutting ahead. It takes some time, but I think before everything happened, they were just starting to find their groove, and I think if any team can find it, you know, quicker than others, I think it's the Lakers too.
So you think he's more comfortable at the 4 than the 3, huh? Because they got him at the 3.
Yeah, I think he's more comfortable at the 4. I do.
They keep running the 4 because AD don't like running the 5. Yeah.
He don't want to bang. He don't want to, and then you got Dwight Howard who says that he might not even come back, even though he's saying that now. But that might change. I mean, I know he's going through some stuff. One of his kids' mothers passed away on top of everything else. So I don't know if they can still now re-sign. If he don't come back, they can now try to get Boogie back. You know, since he's fully healthy. I don't know how it's going to work. But
Cousins is fully healthy. Okay, good.
That's dangerous. Yeah. So we'll see. But I'm with you that, you know, I think it's the Lakers. You know, I think Lakers are the team to beat, and the Clippers are second.
I think it's theirs to win. So I don't think.
Yeah.
Hey.
Hey.
Anytime you want Dad on, give me a call, man. I had a good time.
Hey, look, we went an hour and a half, and see, I told you it was gonna go smooth and it was gonna go quick. So we could talk another hour if we wanted to. I got a lot we could say. You know what I mean?
I had a good time.
Yeah, I appreciate you, man. Honestly, I appreciate you. Like I said, love you. Happy Father's Day. Thank everybody for watching. Real Sports Fan Podcast. You can share the video, Facebook Live. It'll be on YouTube later this week, SoundCloud, probably about a weekend. But we appreciate y'all. Dad, anything else you want to say to everybody that's watching? Go check your comments, too. You got a lot of comments.
Thanks everybody for watching.
There you go. All right, man. Love you. I'll give you a call.
All right, love you. Happy Father's Day again.
All right. Appreciate it. Happy Father's Day, everybody. Appreciate it. Thanks.